Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. This is an article from Reuters.com. I actually saw this on the news earlier today. And, it's basically going into, as you can see, Pfizer to start pilot delivery program for its COVID-19 vaccine in 4 U.S. states. All right, and as you go through and list those states, all right, as Rhode Island, Texas, New Mexico, and Tennessee. Although they're saying they're not gonna distribute the vaccine to those states before any other state. All right, but pardon me, I'm just looking through a couple of these headlines real quick. All right. And basically, it's just going into, all right, the fact that, which I'm gonna post, I'm gonna post the links for both this article and the one I showed before, okay, in the description. But going to show you that this thing is right around the corner. Okay, now one thing that was interesting that I did read in the article from Reuters is they mentioned the COVID-19 vaccine programs. Okay, which is their basically how they're gonna distribute the vaccines. All right. So this says Pfizer Inc. PFE.N has launched a pilot delivery program for its experimental COVID-19 vaccine in 4 U.S. states, as the U.S. drug maker seeks to address distribution challenges facing its ultra cold storage requirements. Pfizer's vaccine, which was shown to be more than 90% effective in preventing COVID-19 based on initial data, must be shipped and stored at minus 70 degrees Celsius or minus 94 degrees Fahrenheit, is significantly below the standard for vaccines of 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. All right, now check this out. It says here, we are hopeful that results from this vaccine delivery pilot will serve as the model for other U.S. states and international governments as they prepare to implement effective COVID-19 vaccine programs, Pfizer said in a statement on Monday. Okay, so what does this mean by programs? Okay, as you can see in the UK, all right, they already have, all right, their structure, their system that they're putting in place, okay, so that when this vaccine comes out, they know exactly how they're going to distribute it. And majority of these different governments have already made it known that they're going to be using the military, all right, or their army to distribute this vaccine. Okay, and there's a lot of talks, okay, about there's a lot of talks about you know these different shops. I just watched a video. All right, basically there was a dude who was addressing the fact, he works with the vaccine companies he's hands on, so on and so forth. And he mentioned how basically they were told to prepare for COVID 20, COVID 21, COVID 22, and COVID 23. Okay. So at least, if that is true, at least we know how or why they showed COVID 23 on the Songbird movie trailer. Okay. Now, does that mean that it's gonna mutate every year? Who knows? It could all mutate in 1 year. Okay. But we do know that this thing is far from over, man. Okay, this thing is far from over. So it makes sense that they titled it COVID and then the year, okay, at the end of it. All right, but we do know that something is definitely looming, all right around the corner, man. And these devils are not playing, man. All right, they're about to throw this whole world into. I mean, you gotta think about it. They've been waiting, okay, and waiting and waiting and waiting for all these years and trying to get the perfect opportunity, all right, the perfect timing, so that they can finally plunge this world into chaos and bring their new order out of it. Okay, so now that they finally gotten the chance, man, they're gonna go all out with it, and it's also going to be to fulfill prophecy. All right, as we are, as we always go through. Jeremiah 30:7. Okay, Matthew 24, Daniel 12, which I have a few of those scriptures pulled up. Okay, but it's also gonna, it's gonna fulfill those prophecies, man. So when the scriptures say a time like never before, we don't know how long Jacob's trouble is gonna be. Okay, we might have reasonable estimates of the length of it, but ultimately, man, there's gonna be a time period of just hell. Okay, a time period of hell on a whole nother level, man. Okay, and people are not prepared for that. Okay, the Most High is about to catch a lot of people by surprise, man. And you got to think about it, like, you number one, you're gonna get caught off guard, and number two, the level, all right, or the magnitude of how bad things are gonna get. You're not gonna be dealing with just a virus or a pandemic. There's a collateral damage that comes with that. There's famines and food scarcity that comes with that, and each collateral damage has its own collateral damage that comes with it. You know, economic destruction, hyperinflation, okay, leading to riots and chaos and break-ins. Okay, things are gonna take a turn for the worse, man. Okay, now I did see something about uh the COVID mutating. I want to see if I can find it real quick. Hopefully I can. I know I saw it on RT News, but I don't know if I could. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. RTnews.com. All right, so yeah, just be prepared because the chances of them coming out and saying that the coronavirus has mutated is very, very great. Don't be surprised if they come out and say something like that because when these devils they speak, all right, they speak in code sometimes, man. There was a scene of Bill Gates talking about how he calls this one pandemic one, and in pandemic we should prepare for pandemic two. All right, him talking about the second one, that'll get some attention, with that evil smirk of him and his wife. Okay, so they've plotted this whole thing out, man. They got something for everybody, man. Okay, but thanks be to Yahweh Shem Shai that He's going to deliver His elect, all right, from it all. But they got something for everybody. Those that said it was real, those that said it wasn't real. They gon' man, they're gonna leave no stone unturned. Okay. Um, Let me see. COVID 19 mutation. There it is. All right. It says here Russian health watchdog says coronavirus mutations appearing in icy Siberia, raising fears for vaccine effectiveness. All right. Now it says the head of Russia's health and safety watchdog said on Tuesday that a mutated version of the coronavirus strain that causes COVID 19 has been discovered in the east of the country. It says Dr. Anna uh, Popova of Trebnadzor told reporters that scientists had detected differences in the virus isolated from infected people in the Siberian Federal District. We see changes in proteins, she said, which allow us to assume that this region is forming its own variant with specific mutations. The new strain has been termed coronavirus-IF or coronavirus-if. She went on to suggest that much of the transmission of COVID-19 in Russia had come via European countries rather than directly from China, where the pandemic is believed to have originated. Um, let's see. All right, just basically goes into other stuff, but concerning this, all right, they're talking about it says here, I almost believe that you couldn't get sick with it twice. Kara Ole said, maybe that's the reason I got sick. All right. Let's check this out. It says in September, the scientific journal Nature documented how new mutations were slowly accumulating in the genetic makeup of the virus. However, the authors argued most of these random mutations have no effect or actually make the virus less effective at infecting people. It's much easier to break something than to fix it, said Emma Harcroft, a scientist at the University of Basel in Switzerland. However, there is always a risk that a mutation could override the body's ability to remain immune to the virus or undo efforts to develop a vaccine. Okay, so if they come out and say that this thing has mutated, then that means that the vaccine that they had for the COVID-19 clearly is not going to work for COVID-20 or the next mutation of it. So now they got to work on another one, and then let's say it mutates again. Now what? All right, now what? Now you're in a pandemic with no vaccine because this virus keeps on changing its strains, its structures, and you can't get it to stay one way so you can work on it. All right, now this is Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And there's been some pretty horrific things that have happened in history, in terms of people dying and how they died. But the times that we're literally walking into right now, is not going to compare to any of that. Okay? It says, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And what book is that? The Lamb's book of life. Okay? If you're not in that book, you're asked out. All right? Now this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 20. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. And this is what the Lord said. All right. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. All right, so Daniel prophesied it, Jeremiah prophesied it, the Lord prophesied it, amongst many other prophets. All right, Ezra, Matthew 24, verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So it's going to be bad, man. The world population is going to be decreasing at a rapid rate. All right, and except the Lord, shorten those days and send Yahweh Shai, nobody's going to make it, man, because it's going to be hell on earth. People like that hell doctrine so much. Well, guess what? Earth is about to become hell. Okay? And there's going to be death lurking on every street. So it's gonna start off with something that you might say, oh yeah, this is bad, but I don't think it's gonna be that bad. That's the scriptures talk about the end of a thing. All right, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. But in appliance to this, when we see these things, we look at the end. We look at the epic. We look at how high or how bad Jacob's trouble is gonna get, not what it looks like right now. Because obviously it's gonna keep getting worse and worse and worse. All right. So let's watch and see what happens, man, with the rollout of this vaccine, all right, and with the winter time coming, as there's been talks of a dark winter coming. So let's keep our eyes open and see what happens, man. But anything can happen at this point, all right. So Lord willing, you were edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.